Welcome back to Off Guard. I'm your host, Austin Rivers, with my guy, Pausha, as always. And we are back. Another episode, fresh off of the in-season Cup Vegas Championship. What do you know?
I liked all the different names. The in-season tournament, NBA Cup, Emirates, Vegas. They're still figuring it out. And NBA is figuring out a lot of different things, I feel like, right? Like they're tweaking a bunch of different things. So they hear it. All you ever hear about is the ratings are down. What are the reasons? And everyone has all their little hypothesis or whatever about what it could be. It could be everything, right? It's not just the 3-point shooting or player movement or the best players of foreign. It could be all of these things, right? So I don't know. I think the NBA Cup was, if you're hating on it, you're part of the problem. They're trying to make things cool. Games have never mattered in December.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know. I enjoyed it. Overall, before we dive into, the winners and losers, what were your overall thoughts about the Cup this year?
I mean, again, another successful year. You're getting like playoff-like basketball mid-season, which you would never get. You could watch those games in Vegas and see that there's just a different level of intensity. The environment wasn't really there, but that's Vegas. I don't know how big of a basketball city that is.
Yeah.
Unless it's the Lakers.
Or their own team, like we talked about last pod. If it was the Vegas Knights or whatever,
they'd probably show
team.
up.
Yeah.
But it's weird when it's neutral. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because, they do pack out Summer League for Vegas. When the Lakers play, it is a crowd in there, or the Warriors, West Coast team. So yeah, I'll give you that. I guess if there was a Vegas team in there probably would have been a little bit more energy in there because there just wasn't really any life in the arena. But the game itself was incredible. Giannis proved that he really is just like the best player in the NBA.
Wow.
I mean, Nikola, but still, you know what I'm saying.
Okay, so a couple pods ago, you said Jokic is the best player in the NBA. Huge gap. Giannis. I think we figured out that gap is...
The gap's not that big.
Gap's not as big.
It's not as big. There's a little bit of space. I still think Nikola is the best player in the NBA, and I think that's a clear hands down still. I would put Giannis right there under him though now at 2. I don't think it's a giant gap.
So it's not. So is it 1 and then 2, or is it like these two guys are fighting for the crown?
I think it's 1-2. Okay. I think Nikola is a definite 1.
Yeah.
But I do think Giannis is the definite 2. I don't think there's another player in the NBA that could be 2. I think Giannis is the second best player in the NBA.
Well, it looks like it's definitely not going to be. No one's going to say it's Shea right now.
Not
after seeing them head to head like that.
Well, yeah, Giannis dominated. I mean, it wasn't even close, brother. He manhandled that team.
Yeah.
And we saw the glaring issue without Chet, obviously, is their size.
But do you think, I think Chet's an unbelievable defender, but do you think Chet's the right guy to stop?
Go ahead. I'm going to let you ask the question, but I know you're
asking. Because I thought we loved the way Wendell Carter guarded Giannis, right? Like a lot of teams don't have a big guy that's strong that can get physical with Giannis. That's why he's such a matchup problem. The Thunder definitely don't have that guy. Chet is a good defender, and he could make things tricky for Giannis at times, but... No, I don't think they have that guy.
No. They have guards who can defend. They have good bigs in terms of, you have Hartenstein who does all those things, hustles. I think is a great pickup for OKC. I love Chet. Chet's a beast. He's an animal. But like you said, having someone tall and physical, again, Chet is a lot of things. He's not a physical presence. Hartenstein's a lot of things, but he's like 6'8". So they have all these great things as bigs, but they're just missing like a plain simple big that could just help clog up the paint and make it a little bit more difficult for Giannis. And it wasn't just Giannis. Like they were just bigger. Brook Lopez was a problem. Like they were just taller, bigger. They're every shot, Bobby Portis were tipping rebounds. And it just felt like every time down, the Bucks players were in that paint, just getting whatever they wanted. And there was plays where Giannis didn't have anything. And there's like 4 guys swarming him, and he would have them on his arms, and he would just raise up and bring them all up with layup. Yeah. I mean, it was just, he physically dominated the game. I watched that game like, bro, this dude is a freak. And I understand that's so, the Greek freak, I get it. But it's like, bro, he really is. I mean, like, there's just nothing like him in sports.
I'm glad there's been like a renaissance as far as Giannis fans, because people were really high on him a few years ago when he won the title.
Yeah.
It got a little weird for a couple of years, some first round exits and things like that.
Yep.
But we are just so numb to like how amazing he is and the things that we're watching. And think about what we did with, a guy like Ben Simmons, where he can't shoot. And it really haunted him, right, in his career. Giannis isn't shooting threes right now, and he's still just dominating.
Yeah.
And for those people, and we have friends that say, well, I don't see the skill. Remember James Harden famously kind of put that out there. There's not a lot of skill there. You're just going on and dunking on people. So what? That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
In an NBA where people are complaining that everyone's shooting threes, shouldn't we be embracing that this guy is dominating in a different way?
Yeah. Listen, and to do it that way is so much harder. You know what I mean? To be able to just like pull up and shoot threes and get quick points, he has to earn those 30. Like Giannis has 40 points and it's off like 15 layups, 12 free throws. And like, it's brutal.
Yeah.
But he does it night after night after night after night. I mean, you watch that game, you could see physically he was exhausted. He plays damn near the whole game. Guys are fouling him, hanging on every limb. There's multiple times where you'd see him with his hands on his knees or just him on the ground, just like breathing. And he just gets right back up and keeps going. I mean, he's like the true definition of like a gazelle. I mean, this guy's like the nickname is so fitting. Greek freak, he is. He's the most freakish athlete, I think, in sports. Of all sports. Basketball, football, tennis, soccer, boxing. I think the freakish most.
I think so. You always said it was John Morant, but this is a different kind of athleticism.
Yeah, I said athlete is John Morant in terms of his jumping. In terms of overall specimen, body, and size, John Morant is like 6 foot and weighs 150 pounds.
Right. This is more like if you could create someone in a lab.
Pause. Yeah, no. Greek freak is 245, walking around, just bodying people. Runs over people, dunks over people. He's long. I mean, bro, he doesn't have a hole in his game or in terms of like his physique and how he's built. There's not a flaw in that, So yeah, I would definitely put him one. I think most people would agree with that. And you watch that game, he just physically just manhandled the OKC Thunder. And again, OKC Thunder's a great team. We talk about this, and this goes back to my point.
I thought of you. Before you get into this, really quick. I knew after watching that game that Austin was going to say, see, I've been saying this for years. This is the closest thing you'll get to a playoff atmosphere, right? And for some reason in the playoffs, you just still want to see Jalen Williams perform. You want to see the coach made the right adjustments. Yeah. You want to see them just do it, right?
I got to see it.
Yeah.
I got to see it. That's all. It doesn't mean I don't think they can't do it. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I have to see it first.
Yeah.
I believe OKC is probably the second best built team in the NBA. You put Boston number one. We all know that. If we're talking from top to bottom, full roster, I'd probably put OKC too. You could honestly make an argument that they probably have the best roster in the NBA. They're not a better team than Boston, but if we're talking 1 through 10, like, bro, they have players that don't even play that are very good players. Like Wiggins didn't even get minutes to the end of the game. Like Wiggins would probably play 25 minutes a night on most teams in the NBA. They have a plethora of players. Casey Wallace is like their third best defender. On most teams, he'd be the number one defender in their team.
For sure.
But on that team, he's got Caruso and Dort and all these other guys ahead of him, right? So roster-wise, they're up there. I have not seen them make those games. I haven't seen them win those big games yet, right? They lost to Dallas last year. Dallas wasn't a better team than them, but no, they got Luka and Kyrie, and like they got a couple of decent bigs with them, and they just went and beat them. Like they just beat them. And I said before the game 2 nights ago, people are like, yo, who you got? Bucks, OKC. OKC, a better team, much better team. I said, they are on paper. They are. I go, in a one game where you just have to go get it, where you have to go get something, where you got a team just has to go win, Giannis is going to go win.
Yeah.
He's just going to go win the game. I called it before. I was like, I have no doubt in my mind. You got a young OKC team, very talented, versus a Bucks team with a lot of that group who won a championship. All right. I knew it. And then coach-wise, OKC's got a talented coach. My dad outcoached him. I'm just being honest.
I mean, this was a big week for the Doc Rivers haters in the beginning of the year.
It's very quiet now.
Darvin Ham haters.
I don't hear anything.
Darvin Ham had some things to say about the Lakers.
He's talking shit now. Good for him. Because, listen, they both have been taking criticism. It became like a trend. It's not even like factual. It just became like a thing where people just started to like talk shit about Doc and Darvin and etc. When like there's really like not a lot of facts behind it. Like, whoa, he's lost a couple 3-1s. Great. That's it. Every coach has a blemish. All the teams he's been fired, none of those teams have won since. That's all I'm going to say. The Clippers fired him, Phillies fired him, and neither of them got close. So it wasn't Doc's fault. I don't know what you guys have checked in on Philly over there, but it doesn't look too great in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So it wasn't Doc's fault. But whatever. We can talk about that another time. Point is, he outcoached them, and it's very clear. The Bucks outplayed them. They outworked him. They were more physical. And Giannis proven to be the best player on that court. Shea is a beast. Big fan of his game. I think he's the best guard in the NBA other than Luka. But Giannis proved that, I'm the best player on the planet other than Nikola. And it was clear. And in a game like that, it just tells me, see, that is what I'm talking about with OKC. They are one of the best teams in the NBA. I have them second. I have them behind Boston. And like I said, roster-wise, you can make an argument they're number one. But experience and know how to win games and close games and execute falls upon the players and the coach. What's his Dagenhall. He's got to do that too. He's got to level up. Not saying he won't. I'm not saying he can't. I believe they will. I think this is the year they do that. I think even this in-season loss is going to help them.
Of course, tonight they play the Magic on national television. Do you want a pissed off, motivated OKC team coming into Orlando?
It could go one way or the other with them. They're either going to be pissed off and motivated, or they're going to be exhausted. I mean, bro,
that's a good point too.
They're flying in from Vegas after being in Vegas for 3 days.
Yeah,
in Vegas, even when it's not like those guys were partying, but like Vegas, you're just up late. Like whether you're in the casino, whether you're even in your room. I don't think these guys are like partying during the week, but like they don't even look like a team that they have those type of guys. But it's still just the time difference and whatever else. Them flying straight to Orlando a day and a half later, and then they got to play like a Magic team that plays really, really hard. I don't think it's going to be like what you think it is. I don't think they're going to come in and you're going to see them win by 40.
Yeah.
I think tonight's going to be like a very good game.
If you're an OKC fan, are you hoping that they make a trade? Like last year they did the Gordon Hayward trade, didn't work out. Are you, before this Cup thing, I was like, listen, this team's the favorite in the West. They don't need to make any moves. The Hartenstein and Caruso moves were all the moves they needed. After watching that, I definitely think they need a reliable three-point shooter, right? They could not, when a game got tight, they couldn't make threes.
But I mean, Isaiah Joe's typically he's a pretty good three-point shooter. And Dort's had a career year.
And Chet could shoot.
Chet could hit shots. They need an interior big. Just one with big size. I love Hartenstein. Keep him. When Chet comes back, obviously Chet's an all-star. Keep him, right? I'm saying keep him as in keep him playing a lot of minutes. I don't even know why I'm saying.
Yeah, keep him.
Who's not going to keep Chet?
You should hang on to Chet Holmgren. I think he's
Chet Alexander. Keep him. Yeah, no. Of course you keep these guys. These are the best players on the team. I think you just
always wanted like an Andre Drummond, like a big body.
Bro, add an Andre Drummond.
Look at the Magic. They just like go out there, and then they have the Mo Wagner, and then they have another guy.
They just got bigs, and I'm talking about big guys.
Yeah.
Isaiah Hartenstein's great. He's like 6'8", okay? Chet is like 7 foot, but he weighs 185 pounds. I'm talking about just go get an Andre that makes vet minimum. You don't play a lot for Philly? Go grab Andre Drummond.
Yeah, someone like that.
Come in. Bro, you put him in the paint, like it's harder for a guy like Giannis. Not saying he's going to stop Giannis. But like it just makes it more difficult for him. That overpowering, getting rebounds and dunking, like that's not happening. Andre is a walking 20 rebounding guy. Like that's a guy you could just throw in there and he will change the game. We've been saying this for OKC for the past 2 years. They need interior size. They got good bigs. You got Chet, you got Hartenstein, you got the hard part down. Just go grab some giant dude. Go grab a JaVale McGee. I don't care who it is. He's off waiver. You can probably sign him off waivers. Just throw him in the paint. You don't even got to play him every game. Just play in the games where you play Milwaukee, play him when you play Nikola, when you play Joel Embiid, when you play Karl Anthony Towns. When you play these like really skilled big, teams that have good bigs, you throw Andre in the game. It'll help. That's what I think OKC needs. Other than that, the missing link for them is their own experience. That's why going into that Vegas game, I don't have a crystal ball, but I was willing to bet. I was like, yo, OKC is the better team on paper, but with guys like Dame and Giannis and guys who have just won in the playoffs, and even Giannis won in the championship with Brooke and Bobby. My dad's won a champ. Like they're going to win that game.
Did you notice with some rest, Dame played unbelievable. And I know he's been dealing with some injuries. Looks like a calf or something like that. Yeah. But I thought he looked really good. Him and Giannis are playing way better this year together, which makes sense. Sometimes it takes a year.
Yep.
For a lot of things, right? And I think everyone was rushing last year to just say that it didn't work, the Dame and Giannis thing. A lot of people aren't saying that anymore. And Dame looks like one of the best point guards in the East.
Yeah, listen.
And a lifetime deal with Adidas.
They
don't just hand those out.
Yeah, Dame looks great. The chemistry between them, you could see is starting to come along, and it helps when you win. Like, they embraced each other like 3 or 4 times after that game. Like, deep hugs. One just like a dap up. you had moments where Giannis and Dame were literally embracing, and you could see they were talking to each other. What was said, I don't know. I wasn't there. But I know it was encouraging. Like, you could see Giannis, like, you see how this feels? Because Giannis has won. There's one moment, like, he handed him a trophy, and he was, like, saying something to him as if he was just like, yes, like this, there's nothing better than this. And you can see Dame, bro, Dame was also, I haven't seen him smile that much because Dame isn't like a smiling guy out there in the court. He's very like mellow, cold killer assassin type guy. Think about the games where he has 50. Like, he's rarely in the crowd pumping his chest. I haven't seen him grab the mic and be like, Rip City, since like his rookie year. He's very mellow. This dude hit a game winner over Paul George and just waved goodbye. Like, he didn't even say nothing. He's a very mellow dude. This dude was smile to smile, cheek to cheek, just you could see winning. He has not won.
Well, look at the turnaround from October till December. In 2 months, from them saying, who are we trading, blowing it up, getting killed on social media,
Giannis is going to the
now
Rockets.
Having confetti in 2 months. That turnaround is
Giannis
just
going to the Rockets, all these different things.
Yeah.
Now they have confetti on them, and now like they're the hottest team in the NBA. And now, like, no one's saying anything about Doc anymore. Everyone's like, oh, Doc's figured it out. We can go do. A bunch of idiots. Like, they're so silly. This is what we wanted. This is what we thought could happen. And now we're seeing it. So it's just like, it's been, obviously it's a sight to see for me, obviously seeing my pops do well. But more so, you look at guys like Dame, Giannis, guys put so much in their craft, guys who've been ridiculed over these past year and a half for their team not having the success that people put on them. They're now having. It's good to see. There's always light at the end of the tunnel when you keep your head down, you keep going. You can't listen to the noise. There's always going to be noise. No matter who you are or what you're doing in life, I don't care if you're a carpenter, a teacher, a fireman, or whatever. You got to have someone in your life telling you shouldn't be doing something or you can't do something. You got to tune out that noise. And that's exactly what these guys did at the highest level. And, Dame getting it, like you said, a lifetime Adidas deal. Bro, brands don't throw that out. There's like 4 players who have that. Steph has it with Under Armour. LeBron has it with Nike. KD has it with Nike. That's it. That's the company he's joining. It's like 3 dudes. I think D Rose has it with
Adidas.
It's like 4 guys, man.
Yeah, I think Allen Iverson with Reebok had.
Allen Iverson. Look at the names we're saying.
Yeah.
Allen Iverson, Reebok. James Harden's going to get. He's obviously going to get the Adidas thing soon.
By the way, really quick, James Harden has a new shoe that just came out, and he dropped 40 with the first time he wore them. Those were really.
And then he had I guess these safe say these work. It's tough.
That's awesome. The whole thing was really cool. Good rollout for the shoe.
By the way, he has the best designed shoes in basketball. They're just the best, and it's continually. It's like this 3rd shoe in a row. That's just the best looking shoe in basketball.
Yeah.
And followed by in second would probably be Ant.
Well, he's got a lot of pressure for that next shoe because that first one was.
The first one won shoe of the year.
Shoe of the year. Yeah.
So I'm saying Adidas basketball right now is running basketball.
Yeah.
Adidas, which is Nike has been known to run, you've had the KDs and the LeBron sneakers no one really wears anymore at this point. Some people do, but like it's not like his old stuff, but he's obviously had a hell of a run. KD has a great line. Kai had the best Nike sneakers of all time, but they dropped Kyrie. Why? I don't know. Somebody should probably I don't know what that was, but now he makes fire sneakers for Anta.
And Book had a really good first shoe too.
Book had a very solid, clean shoe, basically based off an Air Force One, but made it more sporty, very clean, very classic. That's how he dresses in his style, so it makes sense. But Ant by far had the shoe of the year, and then like James in terms of design, like everyone knows James' shoes are like the swaggiest looking shoes. They all look good, especially the last 2 or 3. And he's been on this wave to where like, we're 3-4 shoes in a row now. We're like, he's coming out and people are like, these things look tough. Like these new ones are fire looking. You know what I mean? Like they look like some Yeezy type stuff, but what Yeezy should have done. Look like because Yeezy, remember he like made the basketball sneaker, but they were trash. Like you can't wear basketball. You couldn't hoop in them.
Yeah.
Like break your ankle in them. These Hardens look really good. So yeah. Anyways, shout out to Dame. Shout out to the Bucks. Moving the right direction.